Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. A very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the rain is pouring and the magpie is casting. Come meet you guys right now with a 2 versus 2 battle featuring, spawning in the north, it's going to be the Allied forces consisting of the United States forces of Godfather and the Soviet forces of Easy Win, Easy Life. And spawning in the south, it's going to be the Axis forces of the, Overcommand West forces of Marksness and the Wehrmacht forces of Rooted. So, the map today is going to be Minsk Pocket. Now, this is going to be a 2v2, so the action is going to be thick and fast. It's going to be incredibly hectic, so I will do my best to keep up. But, in a 2v2, there's always so much going on. I will be hard-pressed to bring it all to you, but I will do my best. So, yeah, Minsk Pocket is the map. Now, I don't believe that this one has changed as of the December the 3rd patch. Just having a quick pan around. Seemingly not. We've got an initial scuffering beginning on the... Oh, Rooted says, oh, they changed the map, so maybe they have, but I haven't actually spotted what the changes are yet. So anyway, more on that in a second. These Pioneers going to get up in the grill of these Engineers. There's going to be some carnage on both sides here. Somehow the Engineers actually out DPSing at point blank these Pioneers. Can't help but feel that the Axis forces here got a tad unlucky there. These conscripts going to seal the deal though. Oh, that should be a that should be a squad wipe. Oh, dearie me. Losing your initial squad of Pioneers off the bat, never good. We've got another skirmish developing here in the west. Got some Storm Pioneers behind cover here. They're going to be crack-a-lacking on down at these guys. Got a Kubelwagen here in support, and this is a fight that I believe the USF should take. Although, having said that, the Riflemen are actually getting picked apart. That soft cover not really doing as much as I thought it might against the Kubelwagen here. And, seemingly they're going to be forced to fall back. And the Kubelwagen, whoa, getting a touch aggressive there. Going to pull back now. 2 of the players in this game have chosen their commanders. We've got Godfather, who's gone for the Recon Support Company. Not one we often see, so I'll leave that one just up on the screen here. Press pause on the YouTube if you want to overview those abilities at your leisure. And Rooted has chosen the Encirclement Doctrine. Again, press pause on the YouTube channel if you want to review those abilities. This is one of my favourite doctrines. Not used very often, probably owing to the fact that Stormtroopers are possibly a touch limp. I think that they're okay units. I just think that they just need something extra to help them out. They're just not quite as usable as I'd like them to be. Now, this Kubelwagen is having all sorts of fits. I would be amazed if it gets out of there alive. And it's not. Boom. Spectacular explosion there as the Kubelwagen goes up in flames. Another scuffle here on the right. An MG42 team engaging at point-blank range these conscripts. And at these kind of ranges, actually, the MG42 does very good damage. So Easy Win, Easy Life does well there to fall those conscript back at the earliest juncture. He's also going to fall back these Engineers, which I think is a slightly odd choice. They could at least have stayed here to capture this victory point. So possibly a slightly premature fallback coming down here. They're also going to have to fall back through the arc of this MG. And then through the arc of this MG? Oh no, this MG is just packed up. But the Pioneers here should be more than enough to secure a squad wipe. Got a squad of Volks Grenadiers getting well deep here. They are going to be hosing down, or trying to hose down those conscripts. And, not conscripts, riflemen. And there could be a squad wipe coming down here, actually. Let's watch and see if this Volks Grenadier manages to get it out of there. Ah, Hans! Run! Run, Hans! Seems like he's actually going to make it back to base. So, looks like in the initial stages of the game, I would say it's the Axis forces who have just about gotten the upper hand. If you look at the minimap, they're certainly pushed further up, but they haven't actually secured their backfield. So, not getting maximum resources and victory point lead out of this. And indeed now, the Allied forces securing mid, securing left, looks like they're going to look to push ahead in the victory point stakes. God, we've got a really topsy-turvy lineup here. The Axis players very keen to just dive forward with their units, which which is fine. But it means that units like this are getting caught out, and he's already lost a squad of Pioneers. Actually, has Rooted, so got to be careful out there. Oh no, don't lose another squad of Pioneers. This guy's got to run for his life. He does stand to get killed. Oh no, that's another squad of Pioneers, which means actually Rooted just has 3 MG42 teams, all just kind of covering each other with overlapping fields of fire here. And somehow he's making it work. Forces 2 squads of conscripts back there and another one back here. So somehow this is actually happening for him. Amazing, really. Let's take a look at the force composition here for the Overcommand player. He's now chosen Ground Forces, Luftwaffe Ground Forces doctrine. He's got 3 of Volks, 1 of Storm Pioneers, all pretty standard stuff, and he's deployed his battle group at HQ way back here in the base. Now, you all know what I think about that. I think it's not a very good thing to do, but, it does have its uses, and it is, if nothing else, very safe. I think that you're better off... On this map, if I spawn in this position, my favourite place to deploy that truck is just tucked in here. Just right here. I find that a very useful place. So anyway, Allied forces here becoming the victim of some sort of pincer attack here. 3 squads of Volks and a squad of Storm Pioneers getting all up in their grill, and they're going to get mowed down. That Rifleman squad falls back, and then shortly his friends... Oh, focus fire coming down onto that last Rifleman. He's going to get out... No, he's not! Wow! Damn, the new damage on Volksgrenadiers there, 12 not 10, really becoming apparent. That was brutal. And if I crack the tack in this moment of silence here, you can see that the Axis forces have forced back most of the forces from the Allies, and so they have an opportunity here, a little window of time to make a land grab, which they're mostly doing in this area of the map. Rooted's getting his MG42s and his Pioneers back onto the field. He's gotten one MG42 up into a decent building here, so that's going to be really whoa, but the arc is kind of all kinds of not the right way, so he probably wants to change the facing on that. For the American forces, seems like Captain is the choice of tech off the bat, so that's going to give him access to Stuarts, the AT guns, and the pack howitzers. So top knowledge. See that? See that? Magpie 842, best caster on the block. Top knowledge. He knows what units you can build with a Captain. Boom. So anyway, 3/4 ton ambulance going to come out and do some healing. These rear echelons were gasping for healing, so that's a really good thing that 3/4 tonner has come out. Let's take a look here at the teching. For the Axis player, for the Wehrmacht player, he has got Battle Phase 1. No Battle Phase 2 yet, but he is 5 fuel away from having the resources to do that. Hang on, what? Yeah, that makes sense, And a 222 scout car out on the field now, going to get some work done against these conscripts. The AT grenade has not been researched, so this 222 can flump away freely, pardon me, at these conscripts. Oh, I just had a massive breakfast, by the way, absolutely massive quick breakfast. It was really tasty. For those of you who don't live in England and don't have access to English breakfasts, you are missing out big time. Good incendiary grenade comes down here. Rifleman going to get out of the way, but these engineers sizzling for a little longer than they ought to have. But they are going to get out of the way. Uh-oh, Volksgrenadier here. 1-star Volksgrenadier with a Panzerschreck. He's gonna escape, so that's some lucky stuff. And I believe that was a fantastic minefield, blowing up a number of American troops there, like 5 or so American troopers going down in the mines there. And so that's pretty tough news. Now, Easy Win Easy Life has chosen his commander. He's gone for the Mechanized Support Tactics regime, or Mechanized Support Tactics doctrine. So whack the old pause button on the YouTube if you want to overview those abilities. He's going to have access, though, do note, to the powerful IL-2 Precision Bombing Strike, which is very good in the late game. And, of course, the ISU-152 Heavy Assault Gun, which I'm really rather hoping to see since actually, you know what? Has it never featured on my channel? In all these months of casting, have I never had an ISU-152 on the channel? I think that might actually be true, you know. Yeah, I think it might be. There's only like 1 or 2 commanders who even get it, like, so it's pretty damn rare. And I'll be honest with you, it's not the beast it was at the early stages of the game's release, as Axis forces here managed to capture the top left victory point. In the early stages of the game's release, probably for the first year or so maybe, it feels like about a year, the ISU-152 was like a properly scary monster, which basically just ended the game for the Axis player. Like, every single shot would destroy one of your little 4-man squads, because Wehrmacht were the only Axis faction back then. So yeah, it was desperate times. The ISU-152 was like horrendously vicious and a pleasure to play with when you're playing as Soviets. But then it was now it's been nerfed to some extent. You do have to change what kind of ammo, whether you're going to use AT or anti-infantry rounds, and I believe its scatter has increased, so it doesn't like just blast your squads away with every shot. But I do hear a lot of complaints that it's now very hard to use. Now, I have to say, I don't use the Soviet commanders who have the ISU-152, so I can't really comment, but I'd be very curious to see it in use. And also, I think the fact that we don't see it at the higher levels of play probably speaks to the fact that its power level is a little off right now, that it's a little not good enough, let's put it that way. Anyway, it seems like the USF forces, they've gone for a pack howitzer, getting it set up into a decent position. The 3/4 ton ambulance remains in position, and he'll probably look to get a major to bring forwards there. Now, let's see, where's this... Oh, good first hit there from the pack howitzer. Kills 1 man, wounds the 4 others from that squad. And my goodness, the thing about 2v2s is there's just action everywhere. But if you look at the minimap, you can see Axis forces have totally shored up the west of the map, all the way up to the Allied base, more or less. And they're even capturing this middle victory point. So most of the combat right now, here in the left, American advances looking pretty strong here. There's not enough Axis units to do much more than play for time here, although there is an MG34 right back here. And that will catch these American forces in its arc, although there's no line of sight. Oh, somehow there is line of sight. So anyway, but you know what, this Greyhound, I love the Greyhound, it's really good. Well, I'm not sure if it's good, but I really enjoy it. He could actually drive up for a canister round on these guys. This canister round here costs 50. It's basically a giant shotgun, 120 metal balls, which devastate grouped infantry. And like, no kidding, it just freaking devastates grouped infantry. It's pretty much a 50 munition squad wipe a lot of the time. So anyway, that's the reason I like the Greyhound. I just paused for a sip here on my drink. Now let's have a look at the Greyhound here. 280 manpower, 40 fuel, and 7 cap. What a bargain! What an absolute bargain! Love it. And look, you can even buy the extra armor on it for 70 as well, just so cool. Anyway, here comes the 222 though, and that's going to look to answer the Greyhound. Now I wonder who will win this fight. I reckon the Greyhound probably has this. Its cannon is superior, and its armor is also superior. So the 222, realizing it's a bit out of its depth, is going to try and back up, but too late, I fear. And can the American player just get one last hit? Godfather's looking for it. Oh, it's a crucial miss there. Crucial miss, an unlucky roll of the RNG dice there, so unlucky for the American player. A Puma comes forward looking for the Greyhound, and of course we all know who wins this fight. The Puma, a vastly superior and more expensive and advanced vehicle, gets a fantastic hit onto the Greyhound, but it's going to get screened out. This captain here with the bazookas doing pretty well, and you know what? This Puma needs to get out, actually. This captain's going to do really good damage. He's got 2 bazookas on that squad, so there we go. The Puma's going to get back. Now let me just check the American base. Does he have... No, he does not have the weapon racks upgrade yet. So, and let's go and take a look at... So we know that the Overcommand player must have the Mechanized Regiment HQ. We know this, of course, because there are Pumas on the field. Now let's take a look at the Wehrmacht teching. So he's gone up to Battle Phase 2. Oh my god, he doesn't have an infantry company. I've only just twigged that. That's why there's no bloody grenadiers. Ha! That's why we're seeing such an awkward, well, not awkward, just unusual composition out of Rooted. He's relying on there's these Stormtrooper squads, who he's upgraded with STG-44s. That's a pricey upgrade. It does cost 100 munitions, that's 25 per STG, but it does put their damage up to really high, and it gives them this really sweet tactical advance ability. By steadying their weapons and focusing their fire, Stormtroopers attack more effectively, but are consequently more vulnerable to enemy attacks. Now, this ability is really awesome. I really like it. It does a ton of damage, and it just boosts their damage immensely, and if your opponent isn't watching, it doesn't take them long to wipe squads. So, Stormtroopers using this ability are very cool. Another great thing about this Encirclement Doctrine, of course, it gives sprint to all your troops, which is why I find it a little bit odd that Rooted has skipped the Infantry Company, because with the Infantry Company you can build snipers who then have sprint, which is ace. You can build Grenadiers who then have sprint, which is ace. So anyway, I really like it. These Volks Grenadiers getting picked apart by 2 squads of guards. That's a dire situation which they need to get out of. There we go, Marksness on the ball there. Gonna get the fullback. And let's take a look at the scoreline here. As near as, well, pretty much tied. I'd say 452 for the Allies, 438 for the Axis. Axis being bled by 1 per tip. So, not much movement going on there at this early stage in the game. 12.5 minutes in now. As we approach the mid-game, we can start seeing some armoured units, like proper armoured units. Well, let's face it, I mean tanks. Good old tanks! Going to be coming out soon. 3 MG42s. Loving the composition here from Rooted. And a pack gun here supporting his friend. That's really nice, actually. I think too often at the lower end of play, or indeed at all levels of play, but particularly at the lower and mid end of play, 2v2s just evolve into 2 1v1s, and that's just almost always less effective than having a mixture of forces from both players around the map, so that both players can have some effect all over the map and respond as needed to your opponent's maneuvers. It just makes it much easier for both you and your ally to respond to and deploy your forces in the most efficient way possible. So I really like that. These Storm Pioneers are in quite the nasty concave here. They're going to have to get out. Pathfinder's here. Dear God, 2v2s are utter chaos. A 222 is breaking through to try and get the sniper, but he's not going to get it. Runs straight into a Zis gun. So I guess now the Axis players know about that one. And, wow, meanwhile back here, this fuel point was actually somehow captured by the Allied players. The Storm Pioneer here needs to get out, and he will. These Stormtroopers running forwards. They're going to use the STGs at good range, but a grenade comes down and they have a very short fuse. He's going to have to fall that one back. There we go. There comes the fallback. Oh, devastating grenade there. Guards infantry, of course, they are elite infantry, so they do cook their grenades before they throw them, allowing your opponent much less time to react. Now here we have some kind of Allied call-in is being used. What could this be? Oh, that'll be the Major? What the hell? No, Pathfinders can call in artillery. Holy shit, that's a really good artillery barrage as well. I mean, yeah, it costs 140, but that seems reasonable. It came down very fast and devastated this area. I did not know that Pathfinders could call them in. I'm becoming... Oh, that's because they're the INR Pathfinders. They're not the Pathfinders that the airborne guys get. Okay. Yeah, INR Pathfinders are authorized to call down artillery barrages. Come on, guys. This is a good commander. Recon Support Company deserves more play. Like, he's just good. He's just good. He gets the recon overflight. He gets, what's this? Forward observers. That's pretty cool. He gets, what's this? Airdrop combat group. The paratroopers are equipped with a random set of equipment. Did not know that. That's pretty cool. So anyway, an Ostwind here is the choice. That indicates that our Wehrmacht player has established his support armor core. He's going to go for the Flak Panzer here. And, Flak Panzer Veer. Let's have a looky. These INR Pathfinders are bad boys, man. They like totally camo up and stuff as well. It's awesome. Oh, and they can deploy the beacons as well. Damn it, man! What's this? Decoy barrage. Ha! Oops. That's pretty cool as well. I thought only the Major got the decoy barrage. That's awesome. So there is a Zisgun in a decent position. Zisgun's going to push forward to try and catch this Ostwind. Here comes some supporting allied infantry though, 2 squads of stormtroopers. And I don't get me wrong, I really like stormtroopers, I especially like them with the STG-44s, but I wonder if this is the right map for stormtroopers. All this open fighting dominated by weapons teams means that elite infantry in small squads just tend to get cut down before they can actually get to their opponent, and then when they do reach their foe, there's just not enough of them left to make much of a difference, I feel. So unless you can get some sneaky ambushes or transition those squads into the right-hand side of the map, which is a lot more close quarters, a lot more much more line of sight blockers. It's a much more claustrophobic feeling area. I'm not sure how good they're going to be. Now this Ostwind is now critically low, but a Werferman barrage comes down, devastating Werferman barrage, kills a number of allied squads, sorry, troopers, but no squads. Gets 7 kills and nearly a level of veterancy, but the Ostwind is forfeit, gets taken out here. The Greyhound now to 2 stars. What does he get at 1 and 2 stars? Well, I'm afraid I can't tell you because an MG42, I think an MG42 just destroyed that. Was that it? No, that must have been the pack gun. That had to have been this pack gun. No, the pack gun doesn't have a kill. Okay, the MG42 genuinely just shredded up that Greyhound. Wow. Wow. Surely it had help from the pack gun. I refuse to believe it just instant killed that Greyhound from like 2/3 health. Anyway, here come a load of guards. They're using the smoke from this Greyhound to block the line of sight on this MG. No grenade going to come down. A pack howitzer around lands nicely. And the Allied forces are going to push forward. And if you look at the minimap, you can see that the Allied forces have managed to secure mid, but there are just 2 sneaky squads here from the Overcommand player who are getting some capping done in the west. And that's pretty much, without that, I'd say the Allied forces would be firmly ahead. But as it is, the Axis forces, combined with their pre-existing ticket lead of about 74 tickets, doing pretty well actually. So I'd say small lead to the Axis at the moment. But the Axis players really need to address this. The Allied players are pushed all the way up onto the Axis fuel point, and they have a good amount of support and many squads roving through mid. And whoever controls the mid tends to control the map on Minsk Party. It tends to. It's not the story of every game, just a lot of them. A lot of bazookas coming into this Puma, which needs to start backing up. And there comes the back. An incendiary grenade just coming down as a kind of screw you, literally a scorched earth tactics here. And I still think this Puma's really exposed. The captain here could take some shots if he just moved up to this position. There we go, Puma's going to get out of there. Puma now up to 1-star veterancy. Of course, at 2 and 3 star, it starts getting some really serious buffs. Fallschirmjäger's coming out now. A little late to the party, but always good for damage. And they're going to start running in. They could use a bundle grenade on the gun. They could start hitting down these guys. Whoa, they need to start holding fire, though. Fallschirmjägers are actually, they're very good at close range, but they're actually best at long range. Because they're just elite troopers, their accuracy is very high, and they can deal immense amounts of damage. The Werferman gets another great set of hits, blasting through 2 squads there. The captain destroys the AT gun before he falls back, so some wise stuff there from Godfather, as I require a sip on my drink. And let me crack the tack here and we can try and overview the situation. So I feel like the Allied forces have been more or less routed. I think somehow rooted here in the south, able to use these 2 MG42s to get rid of a lot of the Allied infantry, and he's managed to retake the fuel point. Now there are 2 squads of conscripts doing work on the right hand side of the map, and that's pretty much the only thing the Allies have going for them, as the bulk of their forces, or at least the bulk of their frontline infantry, been forced back for now to reinforce and rearm. They need to get these guys back on the front line quickly, because all of these exposed infrastructure, effectively, all these exposed weapon teams, the Major, the 3/4 ton ambulance, any Axis unit could just drive up here and take advantage of that, or at least could have done. The window is now pretty much closed because all these units are coming back onto the field. This captain, awkwardly, has not reinforced. I suppose he can reinforce from the ambulance, though. Now here comes a Stug tank. What are these conscripts doing? Are they setting mines? Can conscripts set mines? Those conscripts were setting mines, weren't they? No, trip flares. Okay, so they're setting trip flares. Okay. I mean, obviously that's to catch Fallschirmjägers deploying out of the building, or stormtroopers actually, seeing as how both these doctrines have a deploy out of building kind of infantry. So the trip flares there will give the Allied players the heads up if a unit is deployed out of that building. Although, you know what, actually, he did just see this deploying. Ah, very clever. Yeah, he's going to go and just get rid of the trip flares here immediately. That's really good. I was just going to say, because you saw them being deployed, so you might as well just step some units onto it to fire them off, or in this case, use this squad to defuse the trip flares, and that'll that'll deny the usefulness for the allied players there. Stormtroopers here going to come back and cap a point. These two squads pretty much stay together. In fact, you know what? I'm amazed there's no veterancy on this squads, and possibly that attests to what I was saying earlier. Small 4-man, very elite squads on this map, because it has quite open lines of sight and is dominated by weapons teams and long-range units. I just don't think that those Stormtroopers are super effective on this map. And possibly I'm correct, because their veterancy is very low and yet they've been active for a long time. Now 2 scout sniper squads here in mid, looking to bleed some Axis infantry. Oh wow, Schwerer Panzer HQ. This map has changed, hasn't it? It's much more open here in mid. So the Schwerer Panzer HQ gets set up in a great position here. That's going to cover that fuel point. The Werfermann's going to fire again. And that one's a complete miss. Not off by much in terms of timing, but quite a long way in terms of distance. Now, funny thing about the Werfermann, that machine gun on the front of it is actually reasonable. Of all the rocket trucks, this one's the one which is most able to defend itself, I suppose, apart from the Calliope, but that's more of a rocket tank than a rocket truck. Now, here comes an anti-vehicle grenade, or at least an attempt at. Not going to trigger, though, and so the Werfermann's going to sneak away. What? No, I take it back. That was a very long throw. Wow. So, yep, the Werfermann does get an engine damage. That should be quick to repair, though. The US infantry is going to get the hell out of there. Wow, these snipers doing work, though. Are these falling back squads? Oh, no, there could be a squad wipe going here. Oh, an attempted grenade, but slightly mistimed from the Soviet player Easy Win, Easy Life. Both sniper squads now 1 star, so we've got 8 kills on one and 15 on the other, so some pretty good work being done by those squads. Stug here could probably be more active. He has got the MG42 upgrade on that, so it is going to be quite effective against infantry.
We are losing a sector.
And somehow, actually, it seems like the Axis position has been compacted pretty badly. Allied forces have resecured the west of the map, the left-hand side, and they're pushing forwards, making some real good advances here. They're going to pick off a tank gun, and then they could use that pack gun, actually, against this Stug. There we go, there's the turn. Oh dear, where's the Stug off to? It's trying to reverse over here, but of course, remember, there's a guard squad here. Do they have the DP upgrade? No, they don't have the DP, so they cannot button this. I think a button would have been the inevitable death, but he may be able to pick up the Stug anyway. Oh, marked vehicle comes down. And the vehicle is buttoned. And the engine is broken. Surely, yeah, this pack gun has to pick it up. But 2 MG42s arriving. The pack gun's going to get a shot, though. Here it comes. And there goes the Stug. Very unfortunate for Rooted. 2 MG42s, though, in a good position here. Probably going to say no and get rid of all of these infantry forces. Guns down the pack crew, and we'll probably be able to reman that if needed. Sprint comes down on the Stormtroopers. Nice use of Sprint there, actually. And they're going to try for a little bit of damage here, and they're going to get some. 1 star of veterancy now on each of those Stormtrooper squads, so getting some work done at last, which is pretty good. The Werfermann taking some more shots here. God damn you, Soviet! So frustrating. Rooted here. Easy win, easy life. Easy win, easy life says. Easy win, easy life. Oh, good times, good times. Just saying it like it is. I cannot deny that you are good. Oh, Rooted. See, I don't really have much time for BM in my video games. If people start BMing, I have no patience for them. But Rooted here, sort of, you know, taking the good with the bad here. Admitting he's incredibly frustrated, but also acknowledging the skill of his foe. Good stuff. And that pack howitzer, pack howitzer is hitting him for massive damage. In fact, there's 2 of them now. This is really nice. This is kind of what I do when I play as Overcommand. I almost always get 2 light guns and keep them pretty close. And you can just pull out sickening amounts of fire. Sickening amounts of fire. And it's very intimidating to fight into. But the Storm Pioneer's getting all up on top of this. Are they going to use Tactical Advance? They've used Tactical Advance, so brutal damage is dealt. Brutal damage is dealt. One of the pack howitzers goes down, and that's probably worth a steal. Although I don't think I think it requires at least 3 men to man, so I don't think either of these Stormtrooper squads are eligible to steal. And there's a captain squad in their hind quarter. Now, my money's on the Stormtroopers to take this fight. Whoa, getting some spectacular work done. They're all right as Stormtroopers, they really are. Nearly 2-star vets. Yeah, very nearly 2-star vets on both squads. Iron Heart Pathfinder's going to punch through the lines. These Pioneers going to sprint. Where are they sprinting to? Oh, they're sprinting to the Stormtroopers? I don't know. There's not enough Stormtroopers here to make a difference. Actually, you know what? 5 Stormtroopers is... Oh, they use Tactical Advance again. Going to try for the wipe on the captain. They get it. There's a Zook on the floor. Officer... Oh, no, I was going to say Officer Pioneer here might pick it up, but he's not going to do it. He's going to try and get out of there. Now, this is worth a ping because these Volks would love to grab that Zook, so maybe if Rooted can let his ally know, that would be really good. Oh, the Werferman, a little bit of friendly fire there, blasting some of these Volks, but also getting some good hits on allied units, although not really doing a lot of damage. Clip 2 allied squads didn't really do a lot. Clip this tank didn't really do a lot, so that Werferman a little bit frustrated there. And these Volks Grenadiers now up to 4-star. The Puma here up to 2-star, so that's got a formidable Puma, and that's going to be looking for this T-34, which right now is on the rampage, and it finds a light. This is a very deep dive, though, from Easy Win, Easy Life. This is almost a reconnaissance T-34, and whenever I do this, I say, oh, I'm sending in a recon T-34, which is basically code for holy spoons, I misclicked my tank and it's now in their base. Oh, I see, it's desperately looking for the Werferman, of course. It sees it. Is there any defense here? Is there any way that they can stop this thing from dying? Yeah, here's 2 tank guns. That'll help. That'll do. One more hit is required. That pack gun's still traversing, but not quite enough time for the shot. The Puma's here, though. The Puma's here, and the Puma will do it. The Puma will do it. Come on, little cat. Boom. There it goes. Yeah. Prove me right. Here we go. So these guys just sort of moonwalking for a second there. That was pretty cool. And yeah, that T-34 kind of caused a little bit of a scrum of Axis units to return to the base. And if I crack the tack, you can see most Axis units there were in the base, and kind of a lot of the AT was scrambling to deal with that T-34. So there's a window here for Allied infantry to advance, and they seem to know it. They're coming forwards. Constant action going on here. This is hectic as. MG42 is in a decent position. There is another MG42 somewhere here, but I can't immediately find it. Incendiary ammo comes down on a 3-star MG42. You have to respect that. Here's the other MG42. And they're actually being picked apart by guards in their blind spot, so they need to... Yeah, there comes the fallback. And the pack howitzers are trying to barrage where this MG42 was, but it has now repositioned. Stormtrooper's going to sprint over to the right flank, making good use of the sprint here. And actually, it's worth noting, we are now at 16 command points, so close the pocket is now an option. So, oh, did he just use it? No, he used something else. Right. Close the pocket is now an option. Of course, what close the pocket does is I think it's frontline and cut-off sections. No, only cut-off sections. So if your opponent is in a cut-off sector, they get bombarded by artillery. So light mortars bombard... Oh, okay. Light mortars bombard all sighted frontline sectors, and artillery bombards all enemies in cut-off sectors. So, let's see. How would you get a cut-off here? Okay, this is good. Yeah. So by taking this point, you can begin to cut off these sectors on the left. I'm trying to think about how you would use close the pocket here. Ah, here we go. And by taking this point, you can cut off this entire pocket here. This is nice. This is nice. And there comes close the pocket. Now look at the minimap. All the sectors highlighted orange are going to be the victim of gross artillery. Boom! And then these guys, are they going to get hit? Because they are cut off. Oh, but they weren't cut off when the artillery was used, so it's not falling on them. Artillery also falling here. The ISU-152 is here! Awesome. I can hear a Katushka firing or something. No, it's a Panzerwerfer. Fires back here. It gets some good work done. Dansack upgrade comes down. Wow, the close the pocket artillery there. I don't know if it did really well or not. It's so hard to cover. In fact, you know what? I still think it's going on, actually. I can hear lots of artillery landing. I just keep missing it. I'm sorry about that. How much does this cost to use? Only 200. That seems very reasonable. Whoa, Panzerwerfer's getting massive hits. Where are these Panzerwerfers?
Enemy forces capturing supply sector.
Where? I can hear Panzerwerfers firing. Is that part of Close the Pocket? Holy spoons! Was that all Close the Pocket? There are no Panzerwerfers. That was all Close the Pocket. Jesus, that seems really good. Alright. Wow, so Close the Pocket appears to fire every single kind of artillery except incendiary imaginable. It fires like big beefy shells, it fires light mortar shells at the frontline territories, and apparently it brings in some rocket artillery as well. That's crazy. That is for 45 seconds. For 200 munitions. I mean, it's very hard to use. Let's get this straight. You know, most of the time it's never going to look that good. But damn, if you get those territories cut off, it starts looking real good. So it seems on this map, the key ones to take then, pardon me, this one here, and this one here. If you hold these as the Axis players, it seems that you can cut off large swathes of the map, and that's pretty good.
Supply sector under attack.
So this ISU-152 going to get repaired. No kills on the massive gun so far, but I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what happens when it starts firing. It's just such a beefy gun. The field of battle. The field of battle unfolds before the mighty ISU-152. Waiting for its chance to take a shot. Speaking of taking shots, we've got a Werferman here. Looks like it's going for a gas barrage. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I was going to say that was a miss, but it's not. The last rocket here landing squarely in these paratroopers. They're going to have to get out there. Of course, paratroopers on the field thanks to Godfather's use of the Recon Support Company. Got a number of American forces moving forward here. This Puma possibly in jeopardy. These paratroopers do have bazookas, so they've got to be careful. Sorry, so it's got to be careful. Getting some good hits on the Puma. Need to back up the old little cat here. Oh! Takes a third bazooka hit, and that's now pretty wounded. American paratroopers pushing forward for good advantage there. Now the Major is set up in a great position. The reinforcing beacon is here with the 3/4 ton ambulance, which is still alive. And pack howitzers doing their work on these stormtroopers who are going to have to fall back. Yep, there comes the fallback. Why is this guy falling back so slowly? There we go. I wonder if that's because tactical advance was like technically still active or something. That's an interesting thing. Fallthrough here, they're up to 2 stars, going to be repulsing a lot of American infantry here. And where's the ISU-152? Coming back out. Look at the gun on that thing. Oh, is it aiming? No, it's just maneuvering. I want to see this thing fire because it's brutal. It is utterly brutal. What abilities does it get? Oh yeah, so you have to. It's like the Sherman. You can choose to load armor piercing or high explosive, and you can tell it to prioritize vehicles. It can get a G530 concrete piercing round at some point. Okay, it's got to be in range now.
Guard rifle infantry squads can now be called to fight for the motherland.
No, maybe not. Capable of piercing through any obstacle and explode at the target location. Ooh, nasty. Effective against hidden targets. Oh, interesting. And tracking significantly increases sight radius. Infantry can be tracked through the fog of war appearing on the minimap for 35 munitions at Vet 1. That's pretty cool.
Guard rifle infantry squads are now available.
Goodness me, 2v2s are so hard to keep track of. My head is spinning. So what's going? MG42 is going to pull those guys back. So it seems like the Allies are advancing on the left. They've got a massive stalemate in the middle. Oh, the Werferman getting some more devastating hits. That Werferman has been really good. It's not often I see a decent Werferman, but this one's up to 2 stars now. MG42 here is in a bit of a precarious spot. Yeah, needs to deploy further back, so he's going to get that out of there. Now, the majority of the Allied forces, like, there are a lot of weapons teams here that aren't being active. They want to push forward to about here, and I think that the ambulance could come forward to about here. With the Major, with the ISU-152 guarding you, you can feel pretty safe about doing that. Oh! The ISU-152 gets a cracking round out there and scores its first 2 kills. Looks like it's aiming at these troops now. Bam! Another fantastic hit, kills another 3 infantry. 5 kills now on the massive, massive gun. Bam! Another 2 kills there. God damn, this thing's awesome. Just hooning infantry down. Now the Dansack on the top is going to open up. Oh, these stormtroopers are going to get on top of the conscripts. I wonder if the ISU is going to friendly fire. Uh-oh. Kind of gets a miss there, and now there's a Stug on it, so he's going to try and get out of there. I wonder if he's going to load regular rounds. Oh no, this Jackson kind of totally blocking the ISU. That's frustrating. And the ISU really wants to acquire this blob here, because they got Shrek. So here it comes. Boom! Murdering another 3 guys, I think, there, up to 11 kills. And it's vetting up now, it's nearly at Vet 1. That'll enable it to get the tracking ability. Bam! Smacks another Fallschirmjäger down. God damn it, this thing is intimidating as hell to fight into. Oh no, is it going to get these guys? No, it doesn't need to! A pack howitzer round! Lands fantastic. I think that was a pack howitzer round, that was pretty brutal. Panzer Shrek on the floor though there, so actually some Allied forces could grab that. No, it looks like these Volksgrenadiers going to get the grab. And all these fragile squads need to get out because the ISU-152 will gladly yum them up to 16 kills on the fatty gun. Let's take a look at the victory points here. Been a while since I did that. 216 for the Axis, 366 for the Allies. And it's safe to say, with the ISU on the field, Jackson in support, and a good amount of supporting infantry and weapon teams, I think this is going the Allies' way right now. They've got a good lead, about 150 tickets. And so I'm not really sure what the Axis forces are going to do to get out of this, to be honest. I mean, we've got a Stug here. I mean, they have some anti-tank tools. It's just I don't think that they can take the 152 here. And that's going to be repaired by the rear echelon troops. Another actually, you know what? I think that was a miss on the Werferman. Yeah, the Werferman didn't actually... Whoa, 27 kills on that Werferman, though. That has been doing really rather well. Now, oh no, the Stug here is set to prioritise vehicles, so it is not firing on these paratroopers who are going to get a kill on an MG42 and some Pioneers. MG42 here on the right though, going to suppress them, but not before they get one final zoop shot into the Stug. Pushing up on the left though, the Jackson, looking for this Puma who's going to use smoke to get out. Now is the Jackson going to chase? That's a very risky chase. He's going to attack ground, and that was a very near miss. Nice instinct there from Godfather. And he's going to get the Jackson out of there, and I really like being safe rather than sorry here. Now the IC-152 is repaired, and it wants to just push forward a little further. Wow, gets a smacking hit on the Stug. Oh, the Jackson does so much damage. That was like half the health of that Stug in one hit. But here's a Panther, actually. Oh my god, now the Jackson's in jeopardy. He needs to keep backing up. A miss from the Panther and a miss from the Stug, combined with a bounce from the Jackson. A lot of tanks doing nothing there. 2 Stugs now on the field for the Axis player rooted. IC-152 takes another massive hit. I believe it probably hit the rest of that Stormtrooper squad. Up to 19. Up to 19 kills now on the massive assault gun. And the Axis forces, I mean, they've got a Panther. That's the start of a comeback, because, you know, this can actually threaten the IC-152. But with all this anti-tank cover, I mean, 2 Rakettenwerfers here, oddly enough, for the American player. And a Jackson with a Zis gun, 2 Zis guns, and how many pack howitzers? Like 1, 2 pack howitzers, 1 for the Soviets, 1 for the Americans. That Jackson just hooning in from range, getting up to Vet 1. This is looking real bad for the Axis players right now. It's going to be very hard for them. I mean, the MG42s are doing what they can, but that ISU-152 is going to just say no, I feel. An unlucky miss there for the ISU-152 on those Fallschirmjägers. Massive American advance here on the left. Obersoldat going to try and hold the line, but that looks like way too many things. Werferman takes some shots though. Oh no, that was like the one line where there were no troops, so the Werferman gets nothing there. That's not going to help the Axis players. And I feel like if the Allied players just push their advantage here, they can get some real good kills. Possibly he's being too timid with the ISU. Here we come. Yeah, I think he needs to come forward. Like, if the ISU-152 was here, it would be genuine issues. Possibly he wants to load armor piercing and have a go at this Stug or something. That could be an option. Yeah, I think load armor piercing. Or maybe he just wants to blow up these MG positions, actually. Gets a stinging hit onto the Pat gun and the MG42 there from the ISU. Jackson comes forward. Oh, and the Jackson gets the Puma. Fantastic shot. Good instinct there from Godfather. ISU-152 blasts the MG42, and this is falling apart badly. The Schwerer HQ, I didn't realise, has been destroyed and re-established in a more defensive position here on the right. Going to be desperately holding this fuel point, but the Allied forces, sorry, the Axis forces are now down at 178 on the 366. Allied forces pushing the advantage here. Paratroopers and IR Pathfinders pushing for good effect. Is there a light gun back here? Wow, there is a light gun actually doing something here to stop this advance. ISU-152 could come forwards. Boom! Smashes the Storm Pioneers. And let's look at the army supplies here. 59 and 54 for the Axis, 81 and 74 for the Allies. So definitely a really good lead here. Now the Werferman is going to try for another shot here. That looks better. Oh no, maybe not. No, kind of gets like 2 guys, I think. The Werferman is actually deceptively tricky to use. And even if you get the line to go over your opponent's units, like, you don't often get a lot of kills. Now, oh wow, here comes the ISU-152 just blasting big holes into these squads. Look at this battlefield, by the way. Just saying, like, I'm amazed that there are any trees still standing, but like, look at the ground. Like, it's just so gummed up and deformed and blasted. So many massive craterscapes and things. War is hell. War is hell. So this Panther hasn't actually done anything yet. It's been active for ages and has no veterancy. But Jackson has range, doesn't it? Oh, a couple of pack howitzer rounds getting a squad wipe. Oh, 4 Stormtroopers with a Panzerschreck blown to shreds by the first 2 rounds out of the 2 pack howitzers. Lovely stuff for the Allied players. Fantastic. And I just don't know what the Axis players can do right now. They're down at 150 under 366. Jackson with Zis guns, Rakettenwerfers, pack howitzers, ISU-152. I would say the only thing the Allied players are not doing is pushing their advantage. They could push harder if they wanted to. Now, I mean, they're playing it safe and that's fair enough, but sometimes the safest thing to do is just kill your opponent. Anyway, good grenade from those paratroopers. Going to force these Fallschirmjägers back. Obersoldaten coming in. Now, some kind of ability gets used here. That's the airdrop combat group is going to fall right here. Oh, I don't know about that. These Obersoldaten will shoot all of the falling paratroopers, won't they? Uh-oh, I'm not sure about this paratroop drop. Oh my god, there's so many Axis troops here. They're just going to get gunned down as they fall. Oh dear me, this is savage, isn't it? I think this... Doesn't this just go horribly wrong for the paratroopers? I think you're not supposed to paratroop on top of enemy units, but I don't really use the paratroop drop. No, yeah, they're going to have to fall back. And I've donated the anti-tank gun to their opponents there, so a little bit of an ambitious paratroop deployment there, I think it's safe to say. Oh, but the pack howitzer kills 3 Obersoldaten in one shot. Great shot there from the pack howitzer. Those pack howitzers have been such value. They're doing really well. That Obersoldaten squad gets wiped. Whoa, but the paratroopers get wiped by a light gun round, so the indirect fire paying dividends for both forces. This ISU-152 being criminally inactive right now, I feel. Could really push. Should really push. Panther's going to get up here, but the Jackson just getting some hooning hits. That is such a good tank destroyer. Well, and the engine gets destroyed on the Panther. Jackson comes forward, sensing blood in the water. Is there any other options here? There is an AT gun here. That needs to turn and help. Oh dear, but he's scurrying away with it. Werferman's going to take some shots. Wow. The Panther at death's door. The Jackson stalking forwards, up to 2 stars. I don't know where that shot went. It just seems to disappear. The Werferman got some good hits there. It did get some very good hits. That Jackson is unable to finish off the Panther. I'm amazed. But the American player's going to play it safe, and I applaud that decision. You've got to play it safe, especially when you've got 2 stars on the Jackson. That's pretty nice. You don't want to lose that. Actually, you know what though? He's floating like 600 fuel. I know he doesn't have the manpower for another Jackson, but actually, maybe if you're floating that much, you could be a little bit riskier. This ISU-152 needs to come forwards. Needs to be like here, because that way it can fire through here. Actually, yeah, here is the right position for the ISU-152. Right here. Actually, you know what? You could just put it there, because then it can shoot through here, and it has extended range down there. That way it would be hooning these guys right now, for example. Another reasonable position for it, actually, is here. Because that way it covers both sides. I know it's very slow to rotate, but, you know, it's not that slow. Was that a booby trap or something on this point?
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our
No, not really
territory.
sure. 4-star Fallschirmjäger though, and they're pretty spicy. They deal a lot of damage pretty quick, although up against this many paratroopers, I think just say no. Is he going to have to get them back? Apparently not. Frangible smoke comes down. The paratrooper's going to fall back. I suppose with the MG42 there, that was not a fight that they can take. And some cheeky Axis forces trying to come forwards. You know, I would also really like it if the Allies could somehow, like, maybe just get some paratroops in here or something. This would be a really nice position. Because, you know, they're winning at the moment, but they need to close the game out. I'm kind of worried that they're giving the Axis players too much time to get back into the game here. And that's pretty much the only way they can lose. Werferman is ready to rock, and it takes some shots here. Shots ahoy! Landing all over the ISU-152, getting some good damage on some snipers and an AT gun, but nothing game-changing. And I can hear more artillery. Oh, that is a Panzerwerfer. That's a real Panzerwerfer, and that's doing some pretty good damage. Whoa.
Enemy has killed a machine gun crew.
Hang on a second. Didn't he just Panzerwerfer his own MG?
Panzerwerfer is ready for action.
No friendlies killed, so I don't know what just killed that MG42, if I'm honest. That's really weird. Anyway, the Panther's back. It's repaired and it's back. Maybe it wants another crack at this Jackson. Let's go, buddy. Round 2. You ready? I am. Coming forward. The Jackson is just lurking right now. Panther's going to do likewise. You don't want to have them too close to the front. 65 and 61 for the Axis players, under 95 and 76 for the Allied. So the Axis players have closed the gap a little bit. Their army's looking slightly healthier. Oh, the ISU-152, a near miss there, landing just here instead of in the middle of the squad. 5-star Volks there. They probably want to fall back because that ISU-152 is going to fire again. Oh, and it just fires long that time. Those are the luckiest Volks Grenadiers in history. There we go, they're going to fall back. I wonder if the Panther tank's going to try and challenge 2 Stugs actually coming around. Maybe to try and challenge this ISU-152? I don't know though, because with 3 Zis guns in support, I mean that's intimidating as. These IR Pathfinders are probably going to be the last thing here for these for this MG42.
They have only 75 points remaining.
Come on, the accurate fire should be enough to pick him off. No, he gets out of there. Amazing. ISU-152 scanning for targets. 1-star veterancy, of course, has been achieved, so he can use detection on that thing now. Zisguns are now besieging the Schwerpanzer HQ. God damn. 70 tickets left. Oh, the Allied players used the heavy PTAB bombing run. Look at the damage on that thing. Takes out the Schwerpanzer HQ from 60% HQ. An easy win, easy life. Kind of given us a bit of a masterclass in how to use this commander so far. Really liking it. I think the only thing I haven't seen him use so far is camo on his Zis guns. Which actually, you know what, that would be quite spicy. He could turn on camo on all these. That would be really nice. The Stugs are going to come forward and try to challenge the ISU. I don't know about this. All of the Zis guns, they immediately set down. They're ready to fight. And these two Stugs are surely dead. Where are they going? There's nothing they can do from here. Oh dear, they're going to expose the rear armor. The Zis guns, actually, only one of them in arc right now. Look how wide the arc on a Zis gun is, actually. That's fantastic, isn't it? Oh no, one of them's an M1, that's why. Panzerwerfer fires! And it gets some pretty good hits, killing 2 of the AT guns. Wow! That was a really good barrage. Going up to 1 star as the Panzerwerfer. That was really good. I mean, there's still some AT here. There's still 1 Zis gun, a Rakettenwerfer, and the associated infantry, all of whom have bazookas, actually. So still quite a lot of AT, but that was a bit of a turnaround. The 2 Stugs, where on earth are they going? They're going real fast. Oh, he's using the breakthrough ability. Ah, so, okay, 80 munitions. No, wait. 50 fuel? It costs fuel? What a mad ability. Anyway, it lets your vehicles capture points at an increased rate, or decapture points, I believe. No, capture as well, yeah, okay. So, oh wow, and close the pocket is used. Here comes a load of fire. Oh my goodness. The Panzerwerfer flailing in as well. If you look at the minimap, the orange sectors that are flashing are the ones which are being targeted, but that was this sector until just now. A Stug gets taken out on the right flank. Intense amounts of fire. Intense amounts of fire just landing all over this middle sector. And, what the hell? Suddenly the American player's down on 26 supply. The Russian player is on 51. That closed the pocket. Really closed the damn pocket, man. Everything got munched, and now there's a King Tiger out here. Rooted. I hate you, Soviet. Ah. Now there's a King Tiger out. And, hang on. This Panther needs to GTFO, but things are changing. ISU-152 needs to load AP. Needs to load AP. Needs to load AP. Why is he trying to take this fight without AP? And this King Tiger's kind of in jeopardy now. I don't like trading in this position. I think he needs to pull that one back. This Stug has a damaged engine. The other Stug got taken out. Got a fuel cache being built. That's ambitious, isn't it? And, really? Why are they building a fuel cache? They're floating so much fuel. What they need is manpower. That's an odd choice to build a fuel cache here from Easy Win, Easy Life. I'm not quite sure. Oh, is this to stop it being captured so that close the pocket can't happen? Possibly that's it. 44 tickets for the Axis players, though. And they're not under the clock right now. These Fallschirmjägers at 5-star doing horrendous damage. They're going to pick up a 3-star squad of guards here and a machine gun team. Oh, brutal losses for Easy Win, Easy Life. And those Fallschirmjägers clocking up loads of kills. That was brutal. How many kills are they on? 32. Meanwhile, back in mid, we've got a Zis gun flailing in some rounds. There's an M1AT gun here. This Tiger tank's just kind of... Oh, see, it got its engine hammered, so it's falling back. The Werferman here just took a barrage, which unfortunately I missed. I'm sorry. Jesus, look at this map. Hold on, I'm just going to turn the camera, right? Look at the wasteland that is... Look at this wasteland. Oh my god. War is actually hell. So, what next? What next indeed? So, 90 supply for Marksness, who's been doing pretty well, it has to be said. Let's take a look at his force composition here. Fallschirmjägers, Obersoldaten, Volksgrenadier, MG34. Is that a Zis gun? Yep. No, it's an M1. Very nice. Light gun. He's got some engineers just coming. Oh, that's a touch awkward, so he can't actually repair all these damaged tanks he has at the moment unless he gets them all the way back to his base building. A 3-star Werferman is very nice with 44 kills. Bloody hell. So, yeah, that's pretty epic. That's pretty epic indeed. Good force there. 99 supply. Good force. Rooted, on the other hand, trying as a... Whoa, the Axis players control all 3 victory points. The 5-star Fallschirmjäger's just waiting on... Whoa, sorry, Werferman barrage. Didn't look like it got much. 5-star Fallschirmjägers have this point anchored down. They're going to be bloody hard to unroute unless you send a vehicle. I mean, 5-star Fallschirmjägers do not screw about, man. They are nasty. The Soviet players, I mean, there's, you know, this point's very hard for them to reach because it's the furthest from their base. Mid is pushable. Mid is pushable, and the ISU-152 is still alive, now repaired, nearly 2 stars. And again, I feel like Easy Win Easy Life is just being kind of inactive with this. Now, you know, I defer to his judgment because he's probably spent a lot more time using ISU-152s than I have. I think I've probably only had, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 over the course of my Company of Heroes 2 career, simply because I just don't really use the commanders with the ISU-152 in them. Wow, has he got any perks for them as well? No, he doesn't. How much fuel is it? 260 and 720. So, actually, I think that's the same cost as a Tiger 2. Oh, no! Don't just assault in here. Oh, I don't like this. The 5-star Fallschirmjäger will take you apart if you just wander up here with infantry. Look at them go. They're just like, nope. FG-42 is a pretty good gun. Why are these conscripts trying to take this? They're never going to take this. And here comes some Obersoldaten. No, I don't think it's going to... Even if he focuses these Flamer engineers, which he needs to do, actually. Oh, he decides to leave the building. Oh, I don't know about this. He's just going to focus these Flamer guys. Frangible smoke comes down for the win. Wow. And remember, 5-star Fallschirmjäger, I believe, will heal themselves out of combat. Yep, so they're going to heal themselves here. One of the Stugs has been replaced, and the Allied players are kind of at a bit of a loss here. They're bleeding fast. Bleeding at 3 per tick, and that is heavy bleed. So, there's a T-34 back here. I'm not quite sure if that's been forgotten about by Easy Win Easy Life. I don't know how long that's been there, actually. And what's this just entering the field? A new Jackson. Oh, because the old Jackson was taken out somewhere. Sorry, I did miss that. I guess it must have got closed in the pocket. Because, damn, close the pocket. In fact, you know what? There's enough munitions for another close the pocket. Just saying. And it turns out a well-executed close the pocket is a game changer. So, heads up, Allied players and just players everywhere. If you see your opponent's infantry using sprint and you see stormtroopers on the field in the early game, just be aware if you get cut off. Wow, look, it's happened again on this map. Missing ABP. Let there be panic. Consult the warnings.log for answers. Dun. So, some kind of missing game object there. Epic bug. And here comes a determined Allied assault. Now, there are Obersoldaten in heavy cover, and Fallschirmjägers 5-star in heavy cover. And this is not an assault they can take. Oh, the Fallschirmjägers get hit by a grenade, but it's not enough, and they're probably going to get a squad wipe on these poor guys. No, they're not, but dear God, Obersoldaten infantry that's well entrenched. If it's Obersoldaten and Fallschirmjägers, you just don't advance into this position. You have to send a vehicle. You have to. The T-34 is the answer. 3 T-34s? Holy spoons. Wow. Easy Win Easy Life, really spending his fuel there. The ISU-152 is back out and being active at last. Gets a Shrek to the face though. It's gonna try and acquire this squad. No shot forthcoming though. Interesting. Alright, now this is the answer. This is how you get this victory point back. 3 T-34s, Soviet armor, mass produced, roll on in, best medium tank of the war, all that shit. Roll them in, roll them in, roll them in. Why is he being so cautious? Is he waiting for everything? Oh, the King Tiger comes in! Right into the flank of this convoy. Awkwardly aiming at the lead tank means it hasn't even fired a shot yet, though. The Panzerwerfer's here! What is that doing all the way up here? That has to be a misclick. Rooted there, probably thought he was controlling a Stug or something. Maybe got his control group messed up. And the T-34s are going to try and mob the big tank, but actually in this closed area they can't get through. Mark vehicle comes down and there's a Panther in support, and I wonder, the Jackson comes through as well. I wonder if the Allied forces can get this done. The frontal armor, a ram comes down. That's going to shock the crew on the big cat. That was a really good ram actually. That's the only one of the few times I've seen ram used well. This T-34 is going to creep into the rear armor here, going to go for some good damage. The Jackson's going to target the flank down. Panther's doing all it can to support, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. There's an abandoned T-34 at the back there. Where's the ISU-152 in all this? I feel like if it was supporting with AP rounds, this would be an easy fight. The Jackson's going to try for the last hit. Let's see if it can get it. Come on, Jackson. And the Jackson takes out the big cat. There we go. It does die in the end. There's too much anti-tank support here. And the Panther reigns supreme. And you have to think, actually, that was really the Axis players who came out ahead in that. And the Soviet players, yep, they're going to surrender because they got nothing left. They're bleeding fast. They're down at 84 to 44. And oh my goodness, close the pocket. What? Close the pocket? Damn. I mean, I see this doctrine take a lot of flack in the forums and things because it is very hard to set up a close the pocket, like very, very hard. And even if you do set it up, it costs 200 munitions, and you've got to get to that stage in the game. And this ability here is 50 fuel. I did not realize it was 50 fuel. That seems intensely expensive. I think that should be like, I don't know, maybe 120 munitions or something. Or if you want to have a fuel cost in it, make it like, I don't know, 20 fuel and 50 munitions or something. Because playing 50 fuel just seems like a really awkward cost. Although actually, now that I think about it, hang on a second, no, that's a massive bonus, isn't it? Because Wehrmacht always stacks loads of fuel in the late game, and you want to save your munitions for close the pocket. So, no, actually 50 fuel is a fantastic price for that. That's great, leave it on. So yeah, anyway, this doctrine, don't underestimate it. And for a long time, I always used to keep it on my roster. I don't anymore for Wehrmacht, simply because there are other commanders that I prefer, but I still think it's very good. And the main reason why I used this commander, to begin with, was simply sprint, because I love to use snipers, and sprint makes your snipers into like awesome stim snipers. They're really, it's a really good thing. So anyway, yeah, close the pocket doctrine there, really showing that it can be amazingly good. And I think likewise, Luftwaffe ground forces doctrine, yeah, it's been in the game for a long time. Yeah, we're all very used to seeing it, but just shout out to that doctrine, because those Fallschirmjägers really did work that game, like really did work. So yeah, and a very good game from all 4 players, and it's fantastic to see at last the ISU 152 on the channel. Wow, I missed it getting destroyed there. I guess the Stugs took it out. Yeah, they must have done. But yeah, ISU 152, always really cool to see that on the channel. And I'd really like to see one in a really high level 1v1. That would be really sweet. So anyway, yes, thank you to all 4 players. Thank you very much to Rooted for sending in this replay to the magpiereplays@gmail.com email address. And of course, if you guys out there have any interesting or fun replays that you want me to cast, do send them in, and I will take a look. And yes, for now, this is Magpie 842 signing out.